Good evening and welcome to the Hedberg Public Library's Life Online program. I'm Jean Yeomans, the Adult Services Coordinator, and I'd like to thank you all for coming to the first session of a three-part series that we're going to be doing over the next few weeks. Tonight we're going to be covering Twitter, texting, blogging, and Skype, so you'll learn more about each of those as we go through the evening. Due to time constrictions, we are not able to go in depth to any of these technologies and tools. So what we're going to be doing is giving you a basic overview, and then for more information we'll be listing resources for each one. At this time I'd like to introduce all of our presenters, and I'll reintroduce them as time comes for each one of them to speak. Our first presenter is going to be Jennifer, who's going to talk about Twitter and texting. Sue will talk about blogging, and then Diana and Carolyn will talk about Skype. So first off, we'll have Jennifer come up and start with Twitter.
Actually, I'm going to start with texting tonight, but Twitter will follow shortly. Texting is the ability to send and receive short messages, also called SMS. So you can see that on the internet where sometimes it'll be defined as SMS. And then this is all done through your cell phone. Also, sometimes you can send text messages through your computer onto someone's cell phone. What is needed is a cell phone, an SMS plan, a short message service plan, and that's provided through your wireless cell phone company. And various companies around town include AT&T, Verizon, Sprint, US Cellular. And plans may be purchased through per message, through blocks of messages, or unlimited plans. And you have to really be careful, because if you're doing individual messages, that can get expensive if you get really excited into your texting. And in college, when I got my first cell phone, my mom just bought me a limited plan, and I ran up the cell phone. I had a $300 phone bill because I was so into my texting. She wasn't too happy with me. The advantages of texting: most people carry their cell phones with them wherever they go, so you're able to text people and get people's attention because they have their cell phones on them most times of the day. Incoming texts do not disturb others around you like a cell phone call would do. You can be very discreet about texting someone back. You see people texting in restaurants and in meetings, and even in church sometimes. Only 10% of text messages are spam, as opposed to 65% of emails that you get. And spam is like the junk mail through text and email. Texts are automatically saved, so if someone sends you an important message, you'll always have it in your cell phone, rather than if you're doing a phone call and then you think, oh my gosh, what time did they tell me that I have to be at this meeting? You have it in your text if someone texts you that information. Okay, so there are flashcards for texting now on the internet, and I'll show you a couple. Texting has its own language. It's actually etiquette on texting to not type out full sentences. You want to use shortcuts, abbreviations as much as possible. So laugh out loud is LOL. Got to go is GTG. Talk to you later. R. Ta-ta for now. And I love this one. I like to eat. And there's also, you guys have seen translators where it's English to Spanish, Spanish to English, and there is now a translator for texting. Would anyone like to give me a sentence that you would like to see translated into text? Anything at all? Yes?
This is an excellent idea.
Not gonna let me do it? then you go to go. And that's what that would, and fat is, you know, PHAT is now cool, so. Any others?
I love the library. Or I love my library.
Yeah, it is.
These keysers. Okay. I love my live. Okay. So you guys you'll find out all the new lingo with texting on here. For more information, you'll want to contact your cell phone provider. Plans and texting will vary by the company you go through and the phone type that you have. You'll see different texting capabilities, but you'll have sometimes the letters on the screen where it's just like a touch phone, or sometimes you have the QWERTY keyboard versions on the cell phones. The end. Are there any questions? I ran through it. I feel like I ran through that quickly. Yes?
Fast, to me, it seems what's happening is that language is being developed for texting.
What's that? I'm sorry.
I said, it seems that a language is being developed for texting.
There is, and actually I'm a teacher too, in addition to working here, and I'm seeing that the spelling in our classrooms is really, it's really lacking, and we're struggling with that because there are so many abbreviations in texting that they're not using the real spelling of words anymore. And people are accepting of that, and that's a problem.
So how fast does the texting language change? I would imagine it changes rather quickly.
Well, people have different abbreviations for different things. It's just shortcuts to the words. Like there is a common like laugh out loud and got to go, but you know, a lot of people just abbreviate in their own and just hope you can read it.
And the children have no languages either.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Does the translator work in reverse? So if you get a text message and you don't know what it means?
Right? I don't know. I should have checked that out. I can't use a new computer, obviously. Too fancy.
Lingo to plain
Oh.
English.
Oh.
Plain English.
Like, it's here? Oh, here.
There you go.
So it's already there, Jen. So you're in lingo, so, you know, do see you later or something. See
In the
with a
text
C,
box.
Oh.
you, yeah, you can do it right there. Uh-huh, there you go.
Oh, but it's not left. Yeah. So if you don't understand, I suppose you can do that. Good job in figuring that out. Any other questions? Yes, Diana.
Are you teaching 5th grade,
I have fabulous fourth graders.
4th graders? What grades are you starting to see cell phones appearing? What age are they getting them
A lot of my kiddos have cell phones.
in 4th grade?
Mhm.
They don't have them on during school.
No, we're supposed to take them in the morning, unless they keep them in their lockers, and we don't know about them.
Are you seeing as young as 1st grade, or?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Wow.
kids of all ages have them now. But you know what it is, if they would use it appropriately, if they didn't have the abbreviations, it would be a good tool for communicating. But they do the shortcuts.
So what is the school doing to counteract the bad spelling then?
Just really enforce writer's workshop and phonics.
I was wondering, this is a little off subject, but are you finding lack of skills with cursive writing? I can't remember what grade they start cursive.
It's 2nd grade when they start cursive. However, I'm really struggling with that right now. My students cannot seem to form letters like we used to.
As far as cursive.
Right. Yeah. By fourth grade, when we were younger, we were pretty confident in our cursive writing skills. And now it's very, very back to the basics for cursive in fourth grade. And it's really, I hate to say this, but keyboarding would be more of a lifelong skill than cursive writing at this point. You know, I would rather focus on the computer than cursive, you know. Does that make sense? Yes?
So you have to purchase an additional service with your cell phone.
Yes.
So is it more expensive if you have the texting than just the phone service?
It is more expensive, however, there are plans that you can get. Right now, I have 2 people under my contract with AT&T, and I'm paying $150. But I have internet on my phone too, and unlimited pictures, because you can do picture messages as well. And if you would not have a plan, the picture messages add up really quickly. They could be like, 50 cents a picture, 25 cents a picture, 50 cents a picture. And right now I have a nephew, and we're always sending pictures back and forth. And, I would say if you're going to send a lot of text, it's best to get an unlimited plan because they add up quickly. And a lot of people are not talking on the phone as much anymore. People would rather just be done with, get a quick text and be done with it. Did that answer your question?
The key is to shop around. I think,
Definitely.
you need to shop around because each company charges differently. Depending on how you bundle your services, the word bundle is popular.
What I've noticed for cell phones too, I tried Sprint because they have a $69.95 deal where it's unlimited everything, internet, texting, pictures, everything. And their phone service does not work so well. They drop calls very easily in this area. I don't know if you guys have tried Sprint at all, but I live out in the Boyd Township, and I was not able to make phone calls.
That's a good point, because where I live, AT&T doesn't work at all.
Mhm.
And so I have to have Sprint.
So it just depends.
And what was nice about Sprint though is that I said, this is my landline now. I don't even have a phone at home anymore. I depend on my cell phone. And so they said, well, just, cancel your service with us. So if you cancel it the next day, you won't be locked into a contract. So if you find yourself in a bind like that, they'll help you out.
I don't think they,
For your cell phone?
I have an older plan with US Cellular that I just add money to it.
Oh,
Basically, so I text all I want, and when my money runs down, I'll flip it to home.
You can do that at Walmart too, right? I think places like that will let you buy the pay-as-you-go phones.
Track phone.
But it takes that fee out of the money you put in. You pay for it.
Right. You know what? Those track phones are really nice for kids though, who you don't want on the phone all the time. Just say, "This is emergency. Thank you." Okay, Twitter is the next part of my presentation. Twitter is a social network which enables its users to send and read each other's messages. And those messages are called tweets. Kind of fun. This site that I'll show you is the actual Twitter website. And on this website, you can find people's the top tweets of the day that people have posted. They'll pick out people's tweets and the most important ones of the day, and you get to read what other people are posting. So the first one says, Leighton and Beck Hewitt's baby daughter has been named Ava Sidney Hewitt. And so they just randomly post things about their lives. And a lot of times you can follow celebrities on here and other famous people, which we'll talk about later. So if they find that you have an important message to say, or
Is this real time?
This is real time. And with Twitter, there's a sign-in area on the right here. And I thought that was the creating the, once you have an account going, you would sign in right here.
Sign up.
There.
Oh, excuse me, thank you. They'll ask you for your name, they'll ask you to create a username and a password, and provide your email, so you have to have an email in order to do this. And they also want you to agree to their terms of use.
Is there a fee?
There is not a fee.
Is this the same as Facebook, or is there a difference?
This is different than Facebook, but it does have very similar features, because they have, on Facebook, there is a wall that you can post what you're doing in your life, and Twitter is very similar, excuse me. The things that are required to use Twitter are a computer or cell phone with internet access, or a cell phone with a text messaging service, and you'll want the account name and password set up. Basic vocabulary for Twitter include tweets, and tweets are the messages that you post on Twitter. Following is subscribing to another person's tweets. On my Twitter, I follow Danny Goki from American Idol. I guess you're familiar with him. So I like to find out what he's doing when he's going to be at different concerts. And he posts all the time if you want to follow him too. And then followers are those who subscribe to someone's tweet. So if you wanted to follow Danny Goki as well, you would be his follower. And you're able to track those people who are following you. You can say, oh, I know that person, that, you know, they're following me on Twitter, and they want to see what I'm up to.
So are there a limited number of characters with a tweet?
You know what, we can talk about that more later on at the question time. More information. One of the reasons why Twitter is so popular is that everyday people can follow, like I said, celebrities, corporations, politicians, and other prominent individuals on a daily basis. Celebrities and actors and actresses are, instead of going through news releases, they're going on Twitter and just posting their information. So you're not seeing as much on maybe the news as you would on Twitter. The end for that one.
Can you do photos?
You know what? I don't know.
What? Twitter photos? I don't know.
Let's see. Oh, that's the other one. They have, what do you call those? The avatars, where you can have your picture, to have displayed, but I don't think it's like posting on Facebook.
Okay, so you
There
can't-
aren't images that you drop into your page.
Now, anybody can see whatever you put on Twitter, right?
No, not necessarily. You can put blocks on. You can be private on there.
But celebrities and politicians aren't usually.
They wouldn't want to be private, a lot of them. However, you know what you can do though is you can be private for some people, and if you're a celebrity and you want your family to read certain messages, you can unblock it to them. Yes.
I guess I'm confused. So when I log on, I sign in, I log on, and I want to look up a particular person.
Mm-hmm.
Is it alphabetical, or what do I do?
Lost it. Jean, do I have time for this or no?
Yeah, just a couple minutes.
Okay. Guys, if I can remember my password, I will show you. But I have so many passwords these days.
You
Might
didn't
have
know.
had to guess it, yeah.
Mm. should have written it down, I apologize. There are search modes where you can just type in a person's name. And
Are you limited to, what is it, it used to be 140 characters, are you still limited to 140 characters per message?
I don't know that, Jean.
That is.
You know that?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
So these are short and sweet messages.
Yeah, people, it's not, like I said with texting before, you don't want long messages because that's not proper etiquette for a tweet.
You
It's
have
not
to give your
proper.
permission to be followed? I mean, so-
No.
I mean, so you can.
Unless you have it
follow
blocked.
that you don't want?
You can, if someone's trying to follow you, you know what, now maybe you have to accept them.
I'll bet you have to accept.
Like Facebook.
Like with Facebook, you have to accept people as friends. I would think it would be the same. I don't tweet, I just do Facebook.
It's been a while since I've been on there a lot. After a while, you get, you realize that you're too caught up into the social networking and you realize some things have to go if you're in grad school and teaching and.
I think the important thing to me is you keep hearing about, you know, these things can follow you through the rest of your life. And I think you've got to make sure that you are careful about what you put on these sites.
3 years ago, I was at a staff party and my principal made it very aware that she didn't want us to be too involved in these sites because it wasn't good for, you know, a teacher's reputation. Because sometimes people post things and then have regrets later. You just have to be very careful.
You have to also monitor it, don't you? Because I mean, I know we're not talking about Facebook, but I assume it's the same with Twitter, where you have to keep monitoring to make sure that the blocks and the restrictions that you put on continue to be on there. 'Cause lots of times with upgrades, you lose some of that.
I know MySpace lost some.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer. Our next presenter will be Sue, who's going to be telling us more about blogging. Sue?
All right, I'm going to be talking about life online, navigating the digital world of blogs. And Blogger and WordPress are the two logos I have on this screen. We'll talk about those a little bit later. What is a blog? Blog is shorthand for weblog, and I should have put that as one word, W-E-B-L-O-G. Weblog is the original term, and blog is the slang for a weblog. It can be a personal website on which an individual records opinions, links to other sites, etc. on a regular basis. A blog may be put by a single author, or it may focus on a particular topic and feature several authors. There are a variety of types of blogs. There can be group, family, community, corporate, media blogs, sports blogs, all sorts of things. And they can be on any subject. And it's usually chronological. It's actually, I guess you would say, reverse chronological order. The most recent post to a blog is usually at the top. And you'll see that in a little bit. How to start a blog. There is a learning curve, and that's okay. I'd like to mention to people that if you're feeling dazed and confused by the end of this class, that's okay. That's normal. That's part of learning something new. And if we were all younger, we'd be learning and Skyping and tweeting and all of this in just like that. So I think don't be too hard on yourself when it's uncomfortable because you don't get it right away. That's part of learning. All right, how do you start a blog? I've read where it's good to practice writing your first entry before you actually type it in on the blog. So that's something to think about. You need to sign up for a service such as blogger.com or wordpress.com. Those are two that are listed as fairly user-friendly, easy blog blogger services to use. Decide on a URL, that's your web address, and that's the address you see at the top of a web page. Pick out a template you can design. You'll have options for designing how it looks. And you want to play around with the layout and figure out how to post. And it can be stressful. But don't worry, your blog service will have a guide to get you started and a help section. And you may have learned about those already with some other things you might do on a computer. Don't be afraid to click on the little help button and go in and read about what you want to review. What is needed to blog? A computer with internet access and an email address are the basic things you need to blog. And below the little picture, I put a reminder. You can register for our free email and internet classes here at the library. It's also a good idea before you start, if you decide to have a blog of your own, to look at other blogs and see what other people are doing, or get a sense of how other people write, what they do on theirs. And I put the gazetteextra.com/weblogs link on this page as one place you can go. We'll take a look at that in a little bit. The Gazette has quite a few blogs available on their website. Blogging vocabulary. Post is probably the most common term. It's a single unit of content on a blog, usually consisting of at least a title and text. A blog is made up of a collection of posts. Blogger is a person who maintains a blog. I think it can also a person, some people, if you just read blogs and choose not to create one, that's fine too. Blogging, the act of posting to a blog. And then follower, a person who subscribes to someone's blog. Now that's not exactly accurate. After I was reviewing this today, and Diana, I might pick your brain on this a little too. It doesn't cost anything to follow someone's blog. Usually it's out there. But the follower might be someone who's signed up to automatically get an email notification when you add a new post to your blog. That's what I was thinking of when I put that down. Anything else to add to that? Okay. And then I put a couple of websites that have actual glossaries or a dictionary of blog terms. And there were a lot of things on there I hadn't heard of, so I thought I'd just put the web address here for you if you're interested in that. Blogging resources. Now, most of these are on the handout that you have. I hadn't thought of this before tonight, and I was in the staff room earlier, and Carol, our collection manager, said, "Are you going to have some books on display?" I said, "Oh gosh, I hadn't thought of that. We usually do." But of course, a reminder, the library has books on all of the topics you're hearing about in these sessions, and feel free to stop by the reference service desk if you'd like help finding some resources, actual books you can take home, or we can review the things you've seen tonight. We'll probably have copies of these handouts at the reference desk, so if you can't remember and you've lost your handout, stop by. We'll help you get to that resource. And then I just have a second page of resources. This is where that dazed and confused part I mentioned might be coming into play a bit. There's a lot of information here. Now you'll notice the last thing I have on my resource list is Wikipedia-blog. Now Wikipedia, I always like to caution people, it's an online encyclopedia. It is not always completely factually accurate. And you might be wondering, oh, Sue, why are you including it on your resource list? Wikipedia does a nice job of organizing the material that is there. When we use Wikipedia, or at least when I've used it at the reference desk, I always try to check another source, but sometimes it's a nice quick place to go. It'll give you links to things. So that's, I guess, my opinion there. So I did include it. It gives you a nice overview of the history and some links as well. And then at the bottom of this slide, I've got two of the blog publishing services. Blogger.com started over 10 years ago, and WordPress started in 2003. Now, I wanted to include this to be sure. I think on your handouts it has the phone number. It may or may not have the email at the bottom of the handout. Reference desk at Hedberg Public HedbergPublicLibrary.org is where you can email us with your questions, and then our phone number as well. So I did want to be sure to include that information. After the PowerPoint, we're going to go live on the internet, and I'm going to show you a couple examples. And then we're also, I think I'll have time. In fact, I'll do this part first. We'll go to the Hedberg Library's Janesville History blog, and we'll do an example of posting and publishing on publishing a new post on that blog, and we'll show you how that looks. And then, excuse me. Just pass this out. This next screen I forgot to include on the handout, so Jenny will just pass this out. This is blatant promotion right here. The Janesville History blog through the Hedberg Library webpage, and then the Janesville Gazette's web blogs, a couple of their particular blogs. We'll take a look at those too. So that's just for you to keep and add to that handout. And if you might want to write the date on it, I forgot to date my handout. So when you come across this in a drawer 2 years from now, you'll remember when that was. Okay. So now we'll get to the live, real-time portion. Okay. And of course, this is the Hedberg Public Library homepage. I have to do one other thing, pardon me. And now, back to the show. All right, we're at the Hedberg homepage, and if you slide your mouse to the far right, you see the heading Community under the picture of the library to the far right. Click Community, and this page will take you to a lot of good things, resources that will get you links to other places. And if you click where it says Janesville History on the left, that will take you to the Janesville History at Hedberg Public Library blog. This is a blog we maintain on history of Janesville and Rock County. And this is our latest entry, Rambo Field. It tells the story. I won't go into it now, but we had a research question at the desk, and we were able to help find a picture in the paper, and it was just a really cool story. So this is what it looks like. And this little logo on the right, this is from one of our postcards from Janesville High School back in the early 1900s. So we decided that would be our logo for our Janesville History blog. But anyway, I want to, we're going to pretend, well, we're actually going to do, we're going to add another post to this blog. In the top right corner, I'm going to click Sign In. And I'm just going to say yes here. And then this is where you need your email. Kind of a long one, but. And this is the same email you would use if you have questions and you want to send us an email and the library's closed, or you're not by the phone, but you can send an email. And then the password is protected. And now I click Sign In. So now I'm at the dashboard of our blog. And this is where, do you see where it says New Post right here? I'll click one time. And now it's ready for me to add a new post. You always want to give it a title. I'm calling this Life Online at HPL. And then you tab down like you would do if you're creating an email. You have to tab down into the box to type your email. And this is where you start creating your blog entry. Tonight we're learning about tweeting, texting, blogging, and it's just like a regular keyboard here, and Skype, and then try to go fast, Jean. Here we go. Okay, you can add links to websites. I've typed some text and I want to make this a link. Get my mouse to cooperate here, so I'll just highlight it. And right up here, this little button lets you add a link. And then you can come up here, and I'm just going to clear out. And this is the URL, stands for Uniform Resource Locator. You never need to remember that. It's the same as the web address. And I'm just going to copy in something I pasted, or paste in something I copied earlier, and click OK. And then I click in the white space. And now, before I post it, bring your mouse up to the top right corner where it says Preview. I'll click Preview, and now you can see what that post will look like. So you want to do that, it's like spell check for blogging. You want to take a look at that, make sure there aren't any errors. Then you come up, you can hide the preview to go back in and make changes if you need to. Otherwise, if you're not done, you have to come back and finish, go to lunch, whatever, click Save Now, and then you can come back in and get to it. But we're going to go ahead and publish. And now I'll click Publish Post, and I'll get this little message, your blog post published successfully. And now my colleagues in the reference department are all automatically receiving an email. There's a new post on Janesville history at Hedberg Public Library. And now I can click View Post, and I can go back in and I'll clear this out. I forgot to add, this is only a test, so somebody somewhere is going, what in the world? But, so here it is. So now the most recent post is on the Hedberg history page. And it'll automatically, what's nice, it automatically timestamps it, it puts the date in there for you. If you were posting this on your own, well, ours is a group blog, so we put in our initials and things. So here we go. And there it is, added to the other posts. Now, I'm going to back out of this for a minute. And actually, I'm going to close this out and go back to the beginning. What if you, no, it's not letting me do that. I wanted to show you what it looks like where it said create a blog. There is that's the place where you would register and sign in. It's not letting me pull that up. It's just giving me the new post. So I probably have to log out. Well, you know what? I'll come back to that if I have time. I'm just going to very quickly show you at the top where it says local news. If I click here, we have links to our local media, including the Gazette Extra, the Janesville Gazette. And right here, they have blogs. You can click. If I can maximize the screen. And here you have, they'll give you the latest blog entries. And then if you scroll down, you get the list of staff blogs. These are the regular blogs by Gazette staff. And then below that, community blogs, one of which is called Book Buzz. Where is it on my list?
Third one down.
Third from the bottom.
Down. Thank you, third from the bottom. And this is from Hedberg Library's own Jamie Swenson. And here she wrote today about it being a blustery day and a good day to sit home and read about Winnie the Pooh. Okay, so this is something they encourage you, recommend you look at other blogs. Go ahead and take a look at this, just play with it. And that was through our community page on the Hedberg website. Lots of good things there. And I was hoping, it's not letting me, somehow I'm still logged in here.
Can you click new post anyway?
Is this thing?
That's what I should have done.
Yeah.
Good idea.
Or there's one that says next blog. I don't know what that one
There we go.
There you go.
I just logged out. See where it says create a blog? That's where you would go once you're ready to give it a try. Lots of information here. You've got to plug in your, it's like getting registered. You've got to set up an account. It is on a server through Google. So you will see blogspot.com. That is through Google. But you just fill out the information. You can set this up. When you see this word verification, to most of you know, that means you just need to click in the box, type in how you see the letters, follow the instructions. That just verifies that you're a real person, and this isn't just some robo-automated thing coming through. They know you're a real person. And then you would click continue. See there, because I'm not doing it. But anyway, that gets you all set up. You can specify who you want to get notified and things like that. So lots of good things. If you have questions, stop by the reference desk. We can help you get some resources. And that's a quick overview of blogs. Yeah.
Any questions for Sue?
That I can try to answer. Yes.
Do you use Blogger here at the library, or
Yes.
do you use WordPress?
I'm glad you asked that. Yes, Blogger is what we use for our Janesville history blog. Greg, what do you use at the Gazette? You know?
I'm not even sure what we're using.
Okay. Yes, we didn't have time to get into WordPress, but those are the two in my research for this tonight that were recommended as fairly easy to get started and set up. Does that help answer your questions? Anybody else? Getting a little dazed and confused? Come on back.
They're a lot of fun to read. You know.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
You do monitor, don't you, for responses on?
Oh, yes, we have
I
had
just
some
wanted to bring that up
comments.
because-
Yes, I'm glad you brought that up. People can comment on your blog. We had one person, we've done a story about when Tommy Jeans and the Shondells visited Janesville before they were called Tommy Jeans, and they liked it. They sent us a nice comment. Yes. Did that answer?
Well, you also screen, I assume, for comments that you don't want to have, is that correct?
Screen for comments we don't want to have. Was that a public, it was a public comment, that feedback, wasn't it, Diana? It wasn't just through the email. So yes. If we saw something offensive, we would remove it because it's a library website. Does that help clarify a little bit? Does that make you excited and want to give it a try? Or at least go on and take a look at what's out there. They are fun to read. And in many cases, especially in the news and with politicians, a lot of people are going to the blogs more than the newspaper in some cases. That's a personal preference. Thank you.
Our next presenter is Carolyn with the assistance of Diana, and they are going to talk about Skype.
Skype has actually been around since 2003. It started out, it was called Peer-to-Peer in the Sky, hence the name Skyper. Well, Skyper was already used as a domain name, hence they dropped the R in Skyper, and it's Skype. So when you hear someone say, I'm going to go home and I've got to Skype someone, they're going to be getting down at their computer and connecting with a person, hopefully by voice as well as face, which makes it really nice. So it's kind of like in the olden days when you thought, oh, I'm going to be able to see, when I'm calling you on the phone, I'll be able to see you. Well, now you can with Skype, which makes it really exciting. I first was introduced to Skype probably about 5 years ago. My husband is from Germany, so his family is all in Germany, and except for his son and daughter who live here in the US, but it was a very inexpensive way to contact them because it's free calls, person to person, anywhere in the world if you're talking to a Skype phone number or a Skype person. So, with that said, voice over internet protocol, you'll hear VoIP, V-O-I-P, and then the short message service. Now, I'm not such a texting person. I like to just talk and get on my computer and see someone and talk. I just had SMS turned off of my US cellular phone because I didn't want to text. I didn't want to pay for text. Come to find out, now that I have my new cell phone that's upgraded with internet, and that I want to be able to Skype from it, and I've downloaded Skype on my cell phone, I realized I have to know a little bit more about SMS now, and I had SMS turned on my cell phone. So therefore, now I am going to be texting more and with Skype on my phone, and I did need to know what SMS meant after all. So I could have waited tonight and learned it from you, but I did find out just not very long ago. So I went a long time without knowing what SMS was. But what do you need for Skype? You need Windows or a Mac computer. You have to have internet access. Most importantly, a speaker, microphone. Now, most of the new computers, if you're buying a new computer now, already will have the speaker, will already have the built-in microphone, so you probably don't even have to worry about a thing. You might not even know what it looks like, but it's a little dot right in the top of your laptop. If you don't, you can buy a very cheap, out at Best Buy's, little camera that sits on top of your screen. And that's what I did when I first started out years ago, when I didn't have a built-in computer with a little dot on it. Now I have a little dot on my cell phone in the front and the back, so I can do it that way. So again, it's very cheap, very inexpensive to go to any of the computer supply stores to get a headphone or a speaker for a webcam so that you have the picture for video. Again now, if you are actually using your cell phone, you don't actually even need a computer. So you can Skype if you've got a new smartphone with the camera built in. One thing that's very important to know, not to totally give up a real phone. You cannot really only use Skype because Skype will not replace your phone. You cannot call 911 or emergency numbers using Skype. So that's one thing you must remember, not to give up and go all hog wild over Skype. So to get Skype, this is the address that you would go to. It's just www.skype.com. And this is their homepage. You would get Skype. When you click on it, you will go and decide if you want Windows or if you want the Mac version. If you want Windows, you would go right to this spot and download Skype. Now, when you download Skype, it'll take, you have to pick a language, so obviously I would be picking English, and it'll download onto your computer, and then once it's downloaded, it'll say, hello, here I am, I've got you. You have to agree, you have to read their agreement, and you have to create an account, just like you did with the blogging. So you would you create your account, you need your Skype name. Actually, I don't know why, but I have two Skype names. I guess I didn't necessarily at first want to use Carolyn Messer, so I used I'm a librarian in cyberspace, so I was Siberian 4510. So I'm both. You can have more than one Skype account. You must remember, then you need a password again. And it's supposed to be 6 to 10 characters, case sensitive. I got smart and I use the same password for both of my Skype accounts now. So I can help me remember what I'm doing, who I am. Also, on my own computer, I have it checked so that it remembers my password for me so I don't have to remember it. However, I really cannot stress enough that when you do sign up for your account, where it says email address, don't just fake it and make up something, because you might really need it someday. Right now you'll think, oh, I'll never forget that password. I know I'll remember that password. Well, 2 years later, you're going to get a new computer and something happens and you cannot get a hold of it. You cannot get a hold of your password. I just wanted to mention that there is not customer service. Now, I failed to mention that Skype started in Luxembourg, and now it's purchased, big portion of it by eBay, but I just wanted to let you know that there is no customer service. So it says, there has been complaints about Skype's poor customer service. As of May 2010, Skype does not provide any official means to contact customer service. So therefore, if you want to get a hold of someone, you've got to go through your email and get your password to retrieve it. And once then you have it downloaded, it takes probably, depending upon your I know, it's also very, very important that you have broadband, you have fast internet access. You can do satellite. It's not as efficient, I'm not as quick, I don't mean quick, I mean consistent. Sometimes it'll work and sometimes it will not. It's always, but broadband of course does. Now I live out in the country. I have dial-up. I would like to move into town, I guess. But now with my cell phone, it's going to help me out, you know. Okay. So you want to see what friends are already on Skype, so you go to the directory. I'll try to do this live. And I just want to quickly say that you could, then you're just ready to settle in for a good chat. Now, the neat thing is, the new televisions are coming out with Skype already installed on the TVs. So you're going to be able to sit in your living room and Skype someone around the world, anywhere in the world that has a Skype account at no cost,
How long will
no
that-
charge.
How long will the no cost be, like?
How long? That's a good question. Write that down on that little yellow piece of paper. We don't know if they'll get us hooked and then what's going to happen. But for right now, there's absolutely no charge. And as I mentioned, some of the smartphones come with Skype, so then you don't come with Skype, you download Skype. I downloaded it on my cell phone as an app. So again, all it is you just download it, you install it, you start Skype, you create your name, and you're ready to make phone calls. So at this point in time, do you have any questions before we go into a live demo? Because I'd like to do a live demo. Any questions?
Or the one on the left, on the left of the screen, maybe, or that one.
Okay. I'm going to go away. And you will see me soon. Yeah, we're gonna see Diana on our screen.
Now we'll do a commercial break.
Yeah. Oh, I know, what we can do while she is gone, add a contact. Now we're doing this just really live. Now, if you don't know who you want to call, you want to look for someone.
Oh my God. 714 million people.
I'm going to look under Hobbit. Okay, I'm going to view. Guess what? There's my sister, Janet Hobbit. And so if I wanted to add her, I've already got her, so I don't think they'll let me add her again. Oh no, there she is, up here.
That's James.
James, that's my sister's husband. There they are. So that's how simple it is to add a contact. Actually, oops. Oh, I did that wrong, sorry. Okay, I found my brother, C. Holderman. I'm going to send a request and he can decide if he wants to. He's going to say, what in the world? Well, he knows I work here, so he'll probably know it's probably me. So that request has been sent to my brother. So that's how you would get people on your contact list. And see, now he's showing up over here. So now I've actually added him to my contact list. And I could call him right now, but he's in Wisconsin and he doesn't have dial-up where he lives with my mom either. That's another reason I started using Skype. My mom is 95, she lives in Florida most of the year. I take my laptop to the public library in Wisconsin Dells and use their room and Skype to Florida with my uncle, and then I take it to Reedsburg with my aunt, and she can Skype, and so they can see my mom, and they can Skype back and forth and talk back and forth. So it's really handy. It's wonderful. Now we've got to see if we're going to get a call. So I'm going to, let's see.
We've had people come here and use Skype on their computer too. We had someone call ahead and they wanted to Skype their son who was in the service overseas, and we
Now,
had them come in.
I'm calling Diana. She should appear here very soon.
Where's your camera?
Oh, Diana, oh, my camera? Oh, there's Diana. I'm going to make you a full screen. I'm going to make you big, Diana.
I'm here in the reference work group. I'm on Carolyn's laptop, and I'd like to point out that she has a camera that is included in her laptop at the top, and the speaker also has a microphone in it, so, and the speaker in the laptop, so there's a microphone and speaker in the laptop, so I can hear you,
And I can hear you.
and then you can hear me there.
Another thing that I do at home too, when my mom is using Skype, because she's a little hard of hearing, I have an external speaker that I can plug into my laptop as well, so it makes it even louder, which makes it even nicer for my mom. So if anyone is hard of hearing, they could use a headset with a microphone, plug it in. But it's nice when you have it so that you just plug it in so you can all hear, then you can share information with each other, not just the headsets only you get to hear. So that makes it very nice. Diana, do you happen to have, I know in the handout that we have on Skype, there is a book. Do you know if that book is anywhere around? Is it? Oh my goodness, so show it to us. We want to see the cover.
Let me show it to you, Carolyn.
Oh, how organized you are.
The title of the book is Skype Me.
Okay, there you go.
There it is. It's one of our books in our circulating collection. It's 621. Should be on your handout.
If it's on the handout, it's the second one, where to go to get more information. Your Hedberg Public Library. The end. Do you have any questions? Do you see how neat that is? Stay there, Diana. You might have to answer a question.
Okay, I'll stay here.
Okay, so this, this was arranged, but could you just simply call somebody?
Well, see, you would have to get that permission because I just like I sent that message to my brother,
Ah, I see.
and then he will get back to me, and then sometimes the first time you meet up with someone, it's a good idea to call and let them know, I'm going to be calling you around 7:15, would you be on your computer? Because if they're not on the computer, like if I were back in my office now, I have a cousin that lives in Maryland, and if she's on, it'll indicate that she's on her computer. There'll be a little button, she'll light up. Like, let me see, we can't see it now. But when we had that contact list, if they're on the computer, they'll have a little green dot that means they're using their computer, that if you Skyped them, they could answer you, or they could ignore you. But, anything else?
Let me make this clear. So if you're in there, you're gonna contact somebody like through Skype, you know that they're already online because when you send out search for them, it's what that little light's gonna light up.
That little light, if their computer's turned on, you'll know their computer's turned on. Because it will indicate a green versus a red. And the other thing too is generally when I'm doing this, like I will generally call my brother and say, I'd like to Skype mom at such and such a time. Are you going to be online? Because he's not always right by his computer and it might be an inconvenient time for him. So I myself, and the same with Germany too, generally we make a contact and say, just a quick contact, I'm going to be on at such and such a time, because of the time change too. I mean, 7 hours difference.
And both parties have to have Skype
Skype
accounts.
for no charge, right.
Right.
Now, there are some Skypes that, you can pay to use your Skype to call someone that does not have a Skype number, but that's gonna cost you, I think it's like 9 cents a minute from not to Skype. I'm talking just Skype to Skype is free.
Just to give people a sense of how this may be used, I actually had a Skype session for a job interview for a job in Thailand. And it was a way to meet people in Thailand virtually.
And thank you for sharing that too. And another thing, if any of you watch Who Wants to Be, what is it, The Millionaire? What is that show?
Who wants to be?
Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? No.
That's the one
They
we
use
call-
Skype. They use Skype
Oh, for your,
for their Skype.
For phone a friend.
Phone a friend, and they can Skype someone, and so
Well,
that
the
celebrity is
celebrities like
Skyped.
this, the celebrities online,
Okay.
and they did it, now they don't.
Yeah, they
do
had the
that.
celebrities online, and then they would Skype the celebrity, and Oprah had it on her show too. Oh, I know, it was on The View as well. Remember when Barbara Walters was not on The View? She was home ill, and they Skyped her from her home, and so all the other ladies on The View were there, and Barbara was on this great big screen like Diana.
she was sick, they had her on there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Schools are using it too.
Oh, schools are using it a
for
lot.
Virtual, like, communications with sister city schools and
Right.
stuff like that.
I just supervised student teachers for the University of Wisconsin-Whitewater as well, and I went to a school in Milwaukee, and they were Skyping the Milwaukee Museum. They had a special exhibit, and so the whole class were actually like at the museum, but they were still in school. And so they were actually looking at different things, just like Diana showed us that book, that you can walk around with the laptop, and so people can see, the area like that. There you go, Diana, see? That's good, Diana. Do you have anything else you want to show us?
Don't show up like that.
Oh, a golf ball. Do you have a golf ball handy? Oh, a box of Kleenex. Okay. Well, thank you. Any more questions or anything else? Yes.
Is it possible to have more than 2 people?
Yes, you can conference call and have more than 2 people. Absolutely.
Are Skype sessions recorded permanently to the web? I mean,
Diana, that's a good question. Do you know? I don't think so. They're not permanently recorded anywhere.
I don't think so.
I don't either. I don't believe so. Just like your old emails can be floating around from years and years and years, but I don't.
I've seen them.
Yeah. But I don't think the same is true with Skype, that I'm aware of. But not sure. Anything else?
You referred to earlier a directory, so there is a directory that you can actually search, an online, or.
Well, that was that online.
That was where you keyed in names.
Right, or if you knew someone's email address, you could type in their email address. You wouldn't have to just use their name.
Names, okay.
Hi, Diana. See ya. Come on over. There she goes.
I'd like to thank Carolyn and Diana, Sue, and Jennifer for presenting tonight, just to give you an overview of what some of this technology, these tools are good in terms of communicating. They're good for doing those kinds of things. Next time, we are going to cover what's known as RSS feeds, Delicious, Facebook, and Wikis, and that's going to be on November 9th, right here at the same place at 7 p.m. So you're welcome to join us for that. And we hope you had a good lesson here, got an overview of the material. If you have any other questions, we can go through those now. Thank you.